welcome construction students to your very first final exam review. This will be for quarter one, which for you at STAR translates into semester one. So let's see our first question. Convert the following using dimensional analysis of the instructions. It says show all work and label your answers. So it's very important that you do so. If you only give me an answer and it's correct, you get 3 points, but because you've got to use the method. So it says convert 324 inches into yards. So let's go to our slate. And we want to take 324 inches. And we want to change them into yards. Now on the exam, you'll be able to use your conversion sheet. So we put what we know, 324 inches over 1. Now I can convert inches to feet because I know that 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. And then I know that 3 feet are equal to 1 yard. The inches cancel with the inches. The feet cancel with the feet, and we're left with the label of yards, which is what I want. So in your calculator, you're going to take 324 and divide it by 12 times 3. And you should get the answer of 9 yards. Now, if you don't have a scientific calculator with parentheses, you can do 324 divided by, and that should have been a 12, divided by 12, divided by 3, and it should give you the correct answer. Another method you could have done to solve this problem is 324 inches. Put it over 1 if you happen to know that 36 inches is 1 yard, if you chose to do it that way. The inches cancel with the inches, so in your calculator you take 324 divided by 36, and again you should come up with 9 yards. Either answer you'll get full credit if you just come up with that, which would be 5 points. If not, you'll just get the 3 points for the correct answer. All right, pause the video if students need or have questions if they need more time. Welcome back. Let's clear this out. Let's go back to our PowerPoint. Right, question number 2 says, using the same instructions, I need to convert 11 miles into inches. I bet that's going to be a lot of inches. So let's go to our slate, and I start out with 11 miles is going to convert into inches. So I'm going to put the 11 miles over 1. I'm going to put times 1 mile is 5,280 feet. Times 1 foot is 12 inches. Let's see if the units come out the way I wanted them to. Miles cancel with miles, feet cancel with feet. I have the label left of inches, and that's what I want. So in my calculator, I put 11 times 5,280 times 12, and if you did it correctly, you should get 696,960 inches. All right. Take a second and pause the video if students need more time to copy the example or if they have questions. I'll meet you back here soon. Welcome back. Let's go back to our PowerPoint. My problem says the construction foreman averaged 33 miles per hour. He drove an average of 5.5 hours per day for 3 work weeks. A work week is considered to be 5 days a week. How many miles did he drive? So let's go to our slate and see what we can do. All right, it says that he drove 33 miles per hour. He drove 5.5 hours per day. There are 5 days in a work week. Let's just work week, and then times. This should be a 3. 3 work weeks was the facts. Now let's see. The work weeks cancel with the work weeks, the days cancel with the days, the hours cancel with the hours, and we're left with the answer of miles, and that's what we need. So in our calculator, we're going to put 33 times, and you can put the half as a decimal, 5.5, times 5 days, and then times the 3 work weeks. And if you did the same thing that I did, I got 2,722.5 miles. All right, pause the video if you need another second to check out the answer. I'll meet you back here in a minute. Welcome back. Let's take that and let's go on to our next question. Next question says, how much does a 2000 BTU heater cost to operate for 12 hours at 11 cents per kilowatt hour? Use 1 kilowatt hour is 3,412 BTUs. So let's go ahead and go to our slate. And we started out with 20,000 BTU per hour times, there's 1 kilowatt hour is 3,412 BTU times the cost is 11 cents per 1 kilowatt hour times 12 hours. Now let's see, kilowatt hours cancel with kilowatt hours. Hours from over here cancel with hours from over here because one's in the numerator, one's in the denominator. BTU cancel with BTU. So the only label I have left is dollars, which is what I want because it wanted to know the cost. So in my calculator, I take 20,000 times 0.11 times 12 divided by 3,412. Keep the label of money, and when we round it off to the nearest penny, it's $7.74. So pause if you need to double check, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. Welcome back. Let's go on to problem number 5. All right, problem number 5 wants us to do a box plot. So there's a couple of things we need to do. First of all, we need to make and put these numbers in order from smallest to largest. Then we need to find the median then of all of the data, the median of the lower half and the median of the upper half. So let's go to our slates. And I have prepared the answers or the numbers in order. Let's put them in order from smallest to largest. 122. I have 123. I have 124. Let's check how many 25s. 1, 2, 3, 4 25s. 1, 2, 3, 4. 26s, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 26s. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 27s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Start another column. 5, 6. I have 3 28s. I have 3 29s and 2 30s. Let's check how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That was the right number of numbers. So what I need to do is I need to find the medians. I'm going to take one off the beginning and one off the end. One off the beginning and one off the end. Beginning and end. Beginning and end. Beginning and end. Beginning and end. And so forth. So one from the beginning, one from the end. 26 and 27. Now 26 and 27, 27 and 27. That's the median, which is Q sub 2. All right. Now we want to find the median of the lower range of data. So I'm going to take off one off the beginning and one off the end. Beginning and end. Beginning and end. Beginning and end. Beginning and end. So 25 is Q sub 1. Now I do the same thing with the upper amount of data. One off the beginning, one off the end. Beginning and end. Beginning and end. Beginning and end. Beginning and end. And here is Q sub 3. So I've got all the information I need now. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my box plot. Remember that we're going to have to make these numbers equal in value. So I'm going to start out with my smallest number is 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. These must be equally spaced. Now what I do to draw it is the median is at 27. Here's 27 right here. I draw a line. I label it Q sub 2. Now Q sub 1 is 25. I draw another line and label that Q sub 1. Q sub 3 is at, let's put in the number 25. Q sub 3 is at 28. I'm going to draw a line and label that Q sub 3. This makes up my box. I know you can draw a prettier box than I did. Now, the smallest value is 22. I put a dot on 22 and connect it back. My largest value is 30. I draw a dot and I connect it back, and there's my box plot. All right. Pause if you need a chance to look this over, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. Welcome back. I'm not going to delete this. I'm going to go on to the next question. So I'm going to go to the PowerPoint, then I'll come back and look at this box. It says find Q sub 3. Oh, it already has a little Q floating around, so that'll remind me what to do. So let's go back to the slate. Q sub 3 is 28. So for number 6, it asks me for Q sub 3, and all I do is write the value for Q sub 3, which is 28. All right, let's go back to the PowerPoint and see what number 7 asks us. Number 7 says, what's the median? Median is the same thing as Q sub 2, so let's go back to our PowerPoint and look. Number 7, Q sub 2 is 27, so all I have to do is write 27, and we took care of all those problems. Pause if you need to look at it in an extra minute. I'll meet you back here. Welcome back. Let's go back to our PowerPoint, and it's going to ask us to do something. It wants us to make a histogram for the 7 bins. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to, again, group these numbers, putting them in order from smallest to largest. But I'm not going to do that for you. I've already got that worked out. So let's just go back and check. So let's go to our slate and see. All right, what I need to do is they want 7 bins. When I put the numbers in order from smallest to largest, the smallest number in the list was 17. The largest number was 36. So to decide on my histogram how wide I should make each bin, what I do is I take the largest number and subtract the smallest number, and I get 19. I want 7 bins, so I divide 7 into 19. It goes 2 with a leftover of 5, so 2 5/7. So I'm just going to make each bin 3 because the bins have to be whole numbers. So when I'm going to do this, I'm going to put this down here. My first bin is going to be from 17 to 19. So that gives me 17, 18, 19. That's going to give me the range. So the next one is going to be 20 to 22. The next range is going to be from 23 to 25. The next one is going to be from 26 to 28. The next one, 29 to 31. The next one's going to be from 32 to 34. And the final one's going to be from 35 to 37. And then on this side, I'm going to put my frequency, and I need to go up to 10. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go all the way up to 10. Making them fairly evenly spaced. Now I'm going to label these. These are number of electrical outlets. This is my frequency over here. I'm going to title the graph number of electrical outlets. And now I'm going to do my bars. For the range of, or the value of numbers between 17 and 19 was 9. So I'm going to draw a bar of 9 height. The next one, how many were between 20 and 22? There were 5. The next one was also 5. Between 26 and 28 were 4. From 29 to 32, I had 6. I'm going to go up to 6, make this a little bit taller. The next value, there was only 1, from 32 to 34, and the final one there was 3. So I'm going to go up to 3 and over. Things I'm looking for when I grade this, I'm looking for a title. I'm looking that your axes are labeled. I'm looking for evenly spaced. I'm looking for that the bars actually touch. And then I'm looking for the accuracy in your bars. So that's exactly what I'm looking for to get all your points. All right, if you need to pause and discuss it a little further, go ahead, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. Welcome back. Let's not clear off the graph because I think there's one question. So we can go back to our PowerPoint. And the question asks, what is the number of houses that have greater than 28 electrical outlets? So go back to our slate and let's see. We want greater than 28. So we want greater than 28 means 29 through 37. So this bar was 6, this bar was 1, this bar was 3. So when I add it up, I get 10. So that's the number for problem number 9, that there were 10 of them. All right, let's clear this out. Let's go back to our PowerPoint. Let's go on to number 10. It wants us to make a dot plot for these houses with trim of each color. So let's go to our slates. Remember, on a dot plot, we need to put our label of our graph, houses, trim, color. We're going to put these. Order doesn't matter. I usually just do them in order that they came out. So this guy would be brown. This next choice would be gray. The next choice was blue. The next choice was white. And the final choice of trim colors was green. Now all we need to do is put a dot for each one. It said there were 2 brown houses. So put about the same size. They should be equal. Gray, there were 3 houses. Blue, there were 2 houses. There were 4 houses that had white trim. And 1 house with green trim. And now we have our dot plot. I can just have you pause, and then when you are ready, start the video again. Welcome back. Let's go on to our next problem. Our next problem is asking us how many total houses were built using this dot plot. It says the number of houses built per month. So all we're going to do is add them up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So the answer for number 10 is 27. Number 11 says, in how many months did they build 3 or more? So let's see. In January, they built more than 3. That's 1 month. In April, they built 4. That's 2 months. May, they built 5. That's 5 months. July, they built 3. That's 4 months. August was 4. So there's 5 months. And then September also was 3 or greater. So the answer for number 11 was 6. 6 months. All right. If you have questions, discuss it or recount them from your review. And I'll meet you back here in a minute. Welcome back. Let's go on to our next slide. It wants us to solve this. So we're going to go to our slate to solve this problem. Remember that when we're solving an inequality, we have to be careful. Because if we multiply or divide by a negative, the inequality flips. So let's start out with the first thing we're going to do is the inverse of adding 7. So I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. Adding and subtracting do not flip the inequality. So I get negative 4x. These are inverses. They cancel. Are less than or equal to negative 28. Now, to get rid of the negative 4, the inverse of multiplying by negative 4 is dividing. This is where the inequality is going to flip over because I divided by a negative. These cancel and I get x. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. 28 divided by 4 is 7. So you need to show me the steps to get all credit. All right, so pause the video if you need to and I'll meet you back here soon. Welcome back. Let's go back to our PowerPoint and see our next problem. Our next problem has a fraction in it. It says 3/5 x minus 8 equals negative 2. The best news is it's an equation, so I don't have to worry about anything flipping. So let's go ahead and go to our PowerPoint, or to our slate, and this says 3/5 x minus 8 equals negative 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is the inverse of subtracting is adding. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides. So I get 3/5 x equals a negative 2 and a positive 8 is a positive 6. Now to get rid of a fraction, we can the easiest way is to multiply by its reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 3/5 is 5/3. So what I do to one side, I do to the other. I'm going to make both those fractions. The 5 cancels with the 5. One's in the numerator, one's in the denominator. Here the 3 cancels with the 3, so I'm left with x equals. Here the 3 cancels with the 6, leaving me 2. 5 times 2 is 10, and there's my final answer. Easy peasy. You could have said divide both sides by -3/5. It would have just been a little harder arithmetic, but you would have got there just fine. All right, pause if you need to. Welcome back. Let's go back to our PowerPoint. Now, number 14 looks like a terrible problem, but notice the inequality is already set up for you. It says a contractor is purchasing stone tile for a patio. Each tile costs $3.50 plus $50 delivery charge. He wants to spend less than $1,100. What's the most number of tiles he can purchase? All right, and remember, he can only purchase whole tiles. So let's go to our slate and see what we've got. All right, it says to solve this inequality, 3.5 came from 350 plus the $50 charged for delivery has to be less than $1,100. So again, I'm going to get rid of adding first by subtracting 50 from both sides. I get 3.5x is less than 1,050. Notice when I add or subtract, it doesn't flip the inequality. Now I'm going to divide both sides, but I'm dividing it by a positive, so I don't need to worry about anything flipping again. These cancel, so x is, punch in your calculator, 1,050 divided by 3.5, and you should come up with 300. It's a word problem where units have meaning, so put tiles on the end. All right, pause the video if you need to. Welcome back. Let's go back. Number 15 says solve for L, and there's the formula, area equals length times width. That helps us find the area of a rectangle. So let's go to our slate. We know that area is equal to length times width. We want to solve it for length. Well, length is multiplied by W, so the inverse of multiplying is dividing. Nothing will simplify here, but W divided by W, they cancel. So I get the length is the area divided by the width. And there's your problem, and we've shown all steps which you need to do. Whenever the directions say solve, it implies you need to show the work. All right, pause if you need to. Welcome back. Let's go on to our next problem. Problem number 16. Here's the area of a triangle, 1/2 the base times the height, and we're going to solve it for h. So let's go to our slate. All right, area equals 1/2 the base times the height, and we're solving it for h. I'm a little worried about the fraction because I know you are, not because I am. So let's get rid of that first. The reciprocal of 1/2 is 2/1. So let's multiply both sides by 2. And 2 in this case, I'm going to make 2/1. So I get 2a equals, these cancel, b times h. I'm still solving for h, so I'm going to divide both sides by b. These cancel, so the height is equal to twice the area divided by the base. And those are the steps that you should show for full credit on your test. All right, pause the video if you need to. Welcome back. Let's go to our very last problem. Our very last problem is a literal equation 2. This is for the area of a trapezoid. And this is about the most complex one on the review. So let's go to our slate and let's see how we can do this. All right, so let's copy down the formula. The area is 1/2 the sum of the bases times the height. So again, I have a fraction here. Let's get rid of it by multiplying by the reciprocal. So reciprocal of 1/2 is 2/1. Because you'll feel a lot more comfortable without a fraction. So 2a equals, these cancel. Notice the b sub 1 plus the b sub 2, the sum of the bases is in parentheses. I don't want to split them up just yet. So I'm solving this one for b sub 1. So I could divide both sides by h. I get 2a divided by h. Now there's no reason for the parentheses because there's nothing to distribute. B sub 1 plus b sub 2. I want to get this guy all by himself, so the inverse of adding b sub 2 is subtracting b sub 2. So I get 2a over h minus b sub 2 equals b sub 1. And there's your answer. All right, I could have done this another way. At this step, I could have distributed, but it's just going to make your problem a lot harder. But if you did go ahead and distribute and worked it through, I would still give you perfect credit. All right, so pause if you need to. Welcome back. Let's go to our very last slide. And our last slide says our final is going to be on October the 24th, and it'll be a 50-minute final. So if you have any questions, please email me, and I'll be glad to respond. If not, I'll see you then.